We know you've been waiting for Mavuika the Pyro Archon to be added to Genshin Impact, and you might have had the question, what is the best weapon I might have access to put on this character when she is released? What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be tackling that answer. What's the best weapon you can put on Mavuika, and what's the pros and cons for each one? Let's check this out right now. Obviously, the signature weapon, let's talk about this thing. 1,000 Blazing Suns is her signature weapon. It's going to be from her own unique event, 5-star limited gacha pool. And the pros for this thing, it has a really high base attack. It has crit rate as a substat, which is absolutely wonderful. Those are some of the best weapons you can have in Genshin. And then it also has a passive that significantly damage boosts her damage. It's especially built for her during her Night Soul Blessing state. It's tailored exclusively almost to the point of her kit, and it's going to be providing up to like a 30% damage increase compared to some of the free-to-play alternatives. It's her best weapon by far. The cons being that it's brand new and you don't have one laying around and you're going to have to pull for it when Mavuika is released in a feature content patch. Now, one that you might have laying around, the Wolf's Gravestone. It's pretty good still. It has a pretty high base attack, and the passive is going to give you an even higher boost to your attack as well. Crit rate or crit damage would be better here, but on top of that, you can boost up not just Mavuika's attack, but also you can boost up other party members' attack as well. And this has a little bit of credence in someone like Mavuika's kit, because remember, she does have some other facilities that she can do in your party. She doesn't have to be a main on-field hyper carry. She's got the ability to give damage percent bonuses to active party members after she activates her elemental burst for a pretty long duration of time, actually. And then on top of that, she can apply pyro to enemies off-field as well. And for a lot of players out there, you might be saying she doesn't apply enough pyro, which is true, but if you use her in conjunction with a Dendro character like Nahida, you can activate Burning, which allows even someone like Mualani to get activations of Vaporize on all of the important parts of their rotation. So you can utilize this Wolf's Gravestone laying around. It's going to be fine. It has the ability to boost up your attack. It also has the ability to boost up other party members' attack as well. The cons for this thing, doesn't have crit rate on it as a main or a substat, or crit damage. And also, if you're fighting like one big strong enemy, right, you're not going to be able to activate that bonus for boosting everyone's attack by an even larger amount all that often in certain situations. Now, a fan favorite is still going to be good here. Yes, the Serpent Spine is the 4-star battle pass weapon that Mavuika can use, and actually it's going to match her aesthetics pretty well too. So if you're an aesthetics lover, right, Serpent Spine's pretty good on Mavuika. Now, what does it offer? It offers crit rate. We love it. It also is going to offer a large damage percent bonus, up to 50% damage bonus, as long as you're not taking damage while you're on the field. So this is going to lead us into the cons for this weapon. It is a 4-star weapon, so it's going to have lower base attack compared to other 5-star alternatives. And the other downside is if you don't have a way to dodge damage with a shield or some sort, then you're going to prevent the passive of the Serpent Spine from fully taking effect. There's a benefit for this, though. It's not all doom and gloom, because one of the best teammates that you can have in a Mavuika team for Mavuika is actually going to be Sitlali. So if you plan on pulling for Sitlali, she's going to have not just the ability to shred pyro resist for your Mavuika to do more damage and allow you to do cryo related reactions like melt on your Mavuika, but also she's going to allow you to give a little bit of a shield and help you with that Serpent Spine stack issue that we just talked about. Now, speaking of shields and having issues with shields, I actually do kind of like this next weapon. This one's going to be the Unforged. So the Unforged is going to have a pretty decent base attack as a 5-star weapon. It also is going to give a very large percent attack bonus as its substat, and then the ability on it is going to give you even more attack, and then if you're shielded, it's going to double that attack bonus on top of that. The downside of this, well, if you're not using a shielder in your party, then you don't really have the full ability of the Unforged, but one of the best partners for Mavuika is actually going to have a shield associated in her kit. That's going to be none other than Sitlali, who's going to be applying cryo to enemies, allowing you to melt off of them, reducing pyro resistance to enemies as well, which is further increasing your Mavuika's damage. And Sitlali does have a shield, but it's pretty low. And the Unforged, though, does have shield strength increase as one of its passive abilities, which is going to help you out on those mini shields that Sitlali does have. And then on top of that, well, you're going to be having a bigger shield and an even larger attack bonus because you are shielded. So this weapon could be pretty good. You might finally have something to get a use out of this weapon, and it could be pretty good, not really all of that copium. Another option that we do want to talk about here, because it's a 5-star, but this is sort of like a stat stick, Beacon of the Reed Sea. Pretty decent option here for you. It's got crit rate. We want to talk about crit rate weapons. They're very good. And you get bonus attack off of it when your elemental skill does hit opponents. So you can use this both on the field or off the field as well. So it's a pretty flexible weapon, and it will give you that all important, crit rate stat. Weapon I've seen some people ask questions about, and I want to put it here at the end of this list of great weapons. Let's talk about Song of Broken Pines. All right, it's got attack speed on it. It seems pretty cool. Get in there. It's Claymore, copium. Right, this is a copium weapon. This isn't really going to be that great. A lot of Mavuika's damage is going to come from her elemental skill bike form, where she's doing charge attacks. We don't care about attack speed there. We don't really care about the damage percent bonus that Broken Pines provides for us here. This isn't doing anything for this kit. I don't know why I keep seeing this on social media platforms and other places. Why can I use Song of Am I getting memed on when people are asking me about Song of Broken Pines Mavuika? Is it because it's a blue weapon and looks super ugly? This is like a loss in every single circumstance. Looks terrible on her, is terrible on her, period, has terrible stats, doesn't work well with her kit at all. I don't know why I'm seeing this thing flying around, but please don't use this on your character. Please don't do it. Don't. Some other options that we want to talk about real quick here. So we have something like the Black Cliff Slasher. This could be something you could pick up out of the Star Glitter shop. It's a crit damage weapon, and it does give attack percent. And then yes, it does have a, if I defeat multiple enemies, I'm going to get stacking attack percent bonuses. So it does have that same con as some of these other weapons do. If you're fighting a boss, you're not going to get stacks. If you aren't fighting a boss, good weapon for you. At the end of the day, it's still going to be a decent stat stick though. You can also use something like the Rain Slasher here. I know Elemental Mastery. What are we doing? She doesn't scale off of it. Well, a lot of the teams that are going to be putting the Mavuika in, if she's going to be a main on-field damage dealer, she's going to be doing vaporizes. She's going to be doing melts. So being able to do this with the Rain Slasher on there, it's okay. It's usable. I wouldn't call it particularly amazing, but it's fine. You'd be better off with something like a crit rate weapon, right? That we talked about, the Black Cliff Slasher or the Serpent Spine. But if you don't want to do that, those are occupied on someone else, and you just want to give the Pyro Archon some breads and crumbs, I guess, you could give her the Rain Slasher. A couple other alternatives here. The Mailed Flower, it's going to have Elemental Mastery, different attack bonuses, Tidal Shadow, right? On-field DPS, attack bonuses, elemental skill damage bonuses. But if you're going to ask me which are the best weapons I think you should be thinking about when talking about Mavuika, if you want to pull for her 5-star weapon, it's the best one. It's got 30% increase in damage overall compared to some of her other weapons. Makes her super easy to build, gives you attack, gives you crit rate, gives you basically everything that you'd want in one weapon. So go if you want to spend your pre-bone gems on your beloved Pyro Archon, it's definitely worth it there. 5-star options that we want to talk about here. Wolf's Gravestone could be used here. It's fine. It's not crazy, but it's okay. The Unforged, though, I think in a lot of teams, I would probably use the Unforged over Wolf's Gravestone. There's new characters coming out, right? Hydro characters, cryo characters that aren't necessarily just strictly attack percent based, right? Who cares if you're buffing up the Yelan and the Farina's attack as your sub DPS? You don't really care about that. They don't scale off attack. Having access to something like the Unforged, though, you have a shielder in there. It's going to help you prevent that damage. One of her best teammates in the form of Sitlali is going to have a shield, so you are going to gain benefit off of that, and getting just a large amount of attack percent bonus is pretty good for a character like Mavuika, because she does have a pretty significant source of damage percent bonus for herself as well. So you're going to be able to build her high crit rate, high crit damage. She's going to have a lot of damage percent bonuses. She's going to get a lot of pyro resist shred down from the likes of characters like Shalonin, as well as Sitlali in the party. And then just having giant attack bonus from the Unforged actually isn't that copium on her in a good build with a good team. And then we have the longest standing weapon of all time. Yes, the Serpent Spine for a 4-star option. If you buy the battle pass just one time and just get one weapon at the start of Genshin, and it was the Serpent Spine, you've probably had a use for it the entirety of your Genshin Impact experience. So that weapon makes it very easy to build. Just comes with the downside of you need to have a shield in your team so you don't lose that big damage bonus that it does have. Let me know what you think about what weapon you're thinking about picking on. Are you going to be pulling on her weapon, or are you going to be using something that you've had laying around? The Wolf's Gravestone, the Unforged, just going to Serpent Spine. Let me know what you think about that down below. Subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.